Today we are going to learn about prime numbers and composite numbers. We are going to learn about prime numbers and composite numbers from page number 110 in the maths book. Now, what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, 1 and that number itself. Prime numbers are those numbers that have got only two factors. First one is the number 1, 1 is the factor of that number and the number itself. Prime numbers cannot be completely divided by numbers smaller than themselves. So the prime numbers are those numbers which cannot be divided completely by the number that are smaller than the number itself. Then the number except 1. You can divide that number except by 1 other than that number. You can divide by that number and 1 and the numbers that are smaller than that number, you cannot divide that number. Here 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23 and so on. These are prime numbers. They have got only two factors, 1 and the number itself, right here. 2 1s are 2. So 2 can be divided by 1 and the number itself 2. Other than 2, or other numbers cannot divide 2. Other than 1 and 2, other numbers cannot divide 2. Here 3 also. 3 1s are 3. Here 3 can be divided by 1 and 3. You cannot divide 3 by other numbers. Now let's take a bigger number, 23. 23 1s are 23. So 23, 1, 2 will not divide 23, 3 will not divide, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 will also not divide, 12 will also not divide, 13, 14, 15 also will not divide, 16 will not, 17 will not divide, 18 will not divide, 19 will not divide, 20 will also not divide, 21 will also not, 22 will not, 23 will divide. So it has got only two factors. 23 1s are 23 and 1 23s are 23. These have got only the numbers can be divided by that number, that is 23 and 1 only. So other than the number that are smaller than 23 also cannot divide 23. That's why it is a prime number. It has got only how many factors? 1, 2 factors. 1 and the number itself, that is 23. So what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, that is 1 and that number itself. What are prime numbers? Prime numbers are those numbers that have got only two factors, that is 1 and that number itself. Prime numbers cannot be completely divided by numbers smaller than themselves. So prime numbers cannot be divided completely by numbers smaller than themselves. So the number which can divide prime numbers are only 1 and the number itself. Here I have shown you something like 2 can be divided by 2 and 1. If we take 13 also, 13 can be divided by the number 13 and 1. 17 also same. It can be divided by 1 and 17. It cannot be divided by other numbers. Therefore, it has got only two factors. What are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors. Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, 1 and that number itself. Now, prime numbers cannot be completely divided by numbers smaller than themselves. So, prime numbers cannot be completely divided by numbers smaller than themselves except by 1. You can divide that number only by 1. You cannot divide prime numbers by other numbers. You can divide prime number by 1 and the number itself. I hope you understood what are prime numbers. Now we come to composite numbers. Now, before we come to composite numbers, first we'll know what we have learned. What are prime numbers? What are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself. Prime numbers are numbers that have only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself. Now, composite numbers. Now, composite numbers are numbers that have more than two factors. So, composite numbers are those numbers that have more than two factors. In the prime numbers, we have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. But in composite numbers are those numbers we have more than 2 factors. Composite numbers are those numbers which have more than 2 factors now. It has factors other than 1 and the number itself. It has factors other than 1 and the number itself. Now for example, we'll take the number 4. Now 4 can be divided by which numbers? 2 2s are 4, 4 1s are 4. So which are the factors of 4? 1, 2 and 4. So it has got how many factors? 1, 2, 3. So since it has got 3 factors, this number 4 is what number? It is a composite number. It has got more than 2 factors. 1, 2, 3 factors it has got. So composite numbers are numbers that have more than 2 factors. Your 4 has got 1, 2, 3 factors. So 4 is a composite number. Let's take another example. 6. Now we know that. Yeah. 6 1s are 6, 2 3s are 6, 4 will 4, then 5 will know, then 6 1s are 6. So the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3 and 6. So how many factors does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 is a composite number since it has got more than 2 factors. In prime factor only 2 factors, that is 1 and the number itself. Here 1 and the number itself is 6. Beside 1 and the number itself 6, we have got 2 other factors also, 2 and 3. So 6 is a composite number. We will take some more examples. Okay, look on the blackboard. Now 8, we will find the factors of 8. 1 8s are 8, 2 4s are 8, 3 will not go, 4 is here, 5 6 7 8 is here. So the factors of 8 are 1 2 4 and 8. So it has got more than 2 factors, 1 2 3 4 factors. So 8 is a composite number. It has got more than 2 factors. So here we find the factors of 20. Here 1 20 are 20, 2 10s are 20, 3 will not go, 4 5s are 20, 5 already here, 6 will not divide 27, will not divide 8, will not divide 20, 9 will not divide 10, will 10 2s are 20, 11 will not divide 12, will not 13, 14 will also 15 will 16 will 17, 18, 19, 20 will 21s are 20. So the factors of 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 and the number itself 20. So these are the factors of 20. So 20 is also a composite number since it has got more than 2 factors. How many factors does 20 have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors. 20 has got how many factors? 6 factors. So 20 is also a composite number. So what is a composite number? Composite numbers are numbers that have more than 2 factors. So what are composite numbers? Composite numbers are numbers that have more than 2 factors. It has factors other than 1 and the number itself. So it has got other factors other than 1 and the number itself. Like for example, number 8. 8 has got how many factors? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has got 1 and 8. The number itself 8 and 1 is also there. But besides 1 and 8, what are the factors? 2 and 4. So it has got other numbers also besides 1 and 8. So it is a composite number. And in the same case in the 20. 20 has got 1 and 20 also. Number 1 and the number itself also is there. Besides that it has got 2, 4, 5 and 10. So besides that it has got 2, 4, 5 and 10 also. So 20 is a composite number. So I hope you understood what are composite numbers and prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that have only 2 factors. So what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers that have only 2 factors. Number 1 and the number itself. What are composite numbers? Composite numbers are numbers that have more than 2 factors. It has factors other than 1 and the number itself. So I hope you understood prime numbers and composite numbers.